Good day, everyone. I am Dr. Nicole Martin, your double board certified family medicine and preventive medicine physician. I help busy professionals use preventive and integrative therapies to not only improve the symptoms of many illnesses, but to cure some illnesses and truly save lives. Through my programs, seminars, and books, you will get healthy and stay healthy. You can find me on all social media platforms at drnicollemd.com. That is DRNICOLLEMD.com. So today we'll talk about the environment and your health, and we'll look at dioxins. So dioxins are mainly byproducts of industrial practices. Dioxins were first manufactured as insulator fluids and heat exchangers and transformers, as hydraulic fluids, as additives to paints and oils and caulks. They are produced through a variety of incineration processes, including improper municipal waste incineration and burning of household trash, and can be released into the air during natural processes such as forest fires and volcanoes. These chemicals may be released during chlorine bleaching of pulp and paper, or manufacturing or processing of certain types of chemicals such as pesticides. Almost every living creature has been exposed to dioxins or dioxin-like compounds. We'll call them DLCs. Strict regulatory controls on major industrial sources of dioxin have been reduced, and emissions have been reduced into the air by about 90% compared to levels in 1987. So today people are exposed to dioxins primarily by eating food, in particular animal products contaminated by these chemicals. Dioxins are absorbed and stored in fat and tissue, therefore accumulate in the food chain. More than 90% of human exposure is through food. Before safeguards and regulations were introduced, dioxins releases were a major problem in the United States. In 1979, the EPA banned the manufacture of products containing polychlorinated biphenyls, that is PCBs, some of which are included under the term dioxin. Dioxins break down very slowly, and emissions released long ago remain in the environment. Some dioxins endure a long time, are extremely resistant to environmental degradation, and therefore are classified as persistent organic pollutants, or we call them POPs. Dioxin contamination is an increasing problem in some developing countries, particularly with uncontrolled burning and dismantling and recycling of electronic products such as computers. Some health effects, we will talk about those because I know a lot of people want to know what are the health effects of dioxins, because you do hear the term a lot. The dioxin TCDD or mutagen is a known cancer-causing agent, and other DLCs are known to cause cancer in laboratory animals. Dioxins have been known to cause liver problems and elevated blood lipids. Additionally, dioxin exposure has been linked to a number of other diseases, including type 2 diabetes, ischemic heart disease, and an acne-like skin condition called chloracne that is a hallmark of dioxin exposure. Dioxins can cause developmental problems in children, lead to reproductive infertility problems in adults, result in miscarriages, damage the immune system, and interfere with hormones. Exposure to dioxins has widespread effects in nearly every vertebrate species, at nearly every stage of development, including in the womb. Next, we'll talk about dioxins' impact. The public health threats posed by dioxins were highlighted dramatically in the public consciousness in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Newspapers and television broadcasts were full of stories about ailing veterans who had been exposed to dioxins through Agent Orange. And Agent Orange is an herbicide and defoliant used in the Vietnam War. Concerns about Agent Orange and other DLCs continue today, actually. Certain cancers and other health problems have been associated with exposure to Agent Orange or other herbicides during military service. There are certain diseases that the VA assumes can be related to a veteran's qualifying military service. Dioxins were also brought to light in 1982 when the town of Times Beach was declared off limits because of dioxin contamination. This incident in Missouri, as well as others, helped spark passage of legislation that created Supervine, the environmental program established to address abandoned hazardous waste sites. So let's talk about prevention, because I know that's what you all want to know. Since we have these dioxins in our environment, how do we prevent exposure? So I will always start off by saying eat a whole foods, plant-based diet. Eat at least 7 servings of fruits and vegetables each day. Avoid processed foods. The following steps that I'll give you can reduce the potential exposure for dioxin. Number 1, remove the skin from fish and chicken. Number 2, select cuts of meat that are naturally lean or trim the visible fat. Number 3, when catching your own fish, check local fishing advisories, as there may be consumption limits for particular kinds of fish, in particular bodies of water where local contamination has been occurred. Number 4, use fat-free or low-fat milk and use butter in moderation. The environment in which we live is a major determinant of our health and well-being. Clean air, water, soil, plants, food supplies, and even our community environment, which includes the social determinants of health, are essential for our personal health. We will continue to talk about the environment and try to answer the question, what is an unhealthy environment and how does it get under the skin? The environment's effects on our health are complicated, I know this, but there are ways that we can prevent and reduce toxic exposure. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will talk later. Take care.